Hello there. Hello there, everyone. I'm just saying. Well, I did say that just because I don't have an episode finished, that doesn't mean I cannot do the bonus content. Well, today on Wednesday Awakens, it's a bonus content. It's about David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. And Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, has confirmed that the two will be helming the next trilogy. But usually everybody says it's the Rian Johnson one. But I knew what Bob Iger said at the slow things down. And he said that Star Wars, they're in a flop of Solo, saying that we're going to be focused on J.J. Abrams and in a new trilogy by David Benioff and D.B. Weiss in Game of Thrones. However, if everyone keeps mentioning Rian Johnson, it's because he didn't mention Rian Johnson. After what happened to The Last Jedi, and I didn't have much faith in David Benioff, Rian Johnson. But David Benioff and D.B. Weiss. Now, everybody just rant about the bad writing, but guys, just because I'm not gonna dismiss them, I'm not gonna be like that, man, because I like Game of Thrones. I love Game of Thrones, seasons 1 through 7. But season 8, even though it's promising it looks, had suffered at the hands of bad writing. Just to let you know, that it had suffered in hands of bad writing. But like I say, I'm not going to be a raging or anything. Just because I love Game of Thrones, and I love David Benioff, D.B. Weiss. But how's this related to Star Wars, you ask? Well, because they are going to be part of Star Wars, but I think it would be better if they have script doctors, to help them, that somebody would be watching, and of course, dialogue will be good. They could have hired different script writers for of course, season 8. They helmed all 5 episodes, but the series finale will, of course, they will not be part of writing and directing. But like I say, they just do 5 episodes. But the last episode, they're gonna get someone else. But of course, that's what I'm just trying to say. With dialogue poor, and of course, poorly executed. But like I say, I'm not, even though I am serious, I'm not I would never ever raise my voice involving people of Game of Thrones. But like I say, just because I'm in that mood right now, that don't mean I can, with geeks and gamers, I'm not saying anything bad about them, even though I don't fully defend, I don't usually defend the shows before, but Game of Thrones, was the no exception, even though, I mean, with the Arya scene in episode 2, and of course, the battle in episode 3, but that's when I've, at Monday Throats, where I was overly dramatic, but in that episode, but the episode from last Sunday, was traumatizing for me, but, I mean, and yes, I'm just saying that, they're, that they are beginning to lose, magic with their, losing their magic, losing their Midas touch with their, 2 later episodes. The last 2 of the 3 episodes. They have begun to lose their Midas touch. I know, I mean, if I get a job at Star Wars, I would hire some script doctors, and I would ask them if they could have a better dialogue. If they could make a dialogue a little more better. But, like of course, for I'm in my funny personality, but this one, bonus content, I'm really, really serious. I'm in a really serious tone there, folks. But, like I say, just because it's Game of... You win or you die in Game of Thrones. But, like I say, But although there is something I know that Bob Iger, if you're listening to this, please, if you would please get the script doctors for David Benioff and D.B. Weiss to make the dialogue more better. If they're gonna do Star Wars, just like George Lucas had with A New Hope, which is back then called just Star Wars. No subtitle, no episode number, just the title. And then George Lucas, of course, have a different scriptwriter for episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, but it was just called Empire Strikes Back. And then Revenge of the Jedi had a different scriptwriter, but it was changed. I mean, not just the script, but the movie title to Return of the Jedi, because it referenced it's the Sith are the bad guys and the Jedi are the good guys. You can't have heroes without... You can't have villains without the heroes. But and then George Lucas, later, after he was promised to do a sequel trilogy, but although he had went through a lot. Of course, scrapping, put the idea in the back burner, and of course, had went through a really, really tough divorce. So he went and got the idea to the beginning, where the saga was the beginning. But he's been scrutinized but George Lucas had been very scrutinized, of course, for the the handling, and he didn't add any script doctors. But episode 2, on the other hand, although a slight improvement in critics, which was a decline to fans. And yes, before The Last Jedi, this was claimed to be the worst Star Wars they've ever seen. Right before The Last Jedi, and right before scrutiny of the sequel trilogy, and which makes them appreciate the prequels even more. But now, I'm not a huge Star Wars defender. I mean, I defend it because of the lightsaber fights, space battles, and of course, the cast, like, Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, and the guy who is, and a British comedian who is also the Blue Beetle on the Amazon, on the show from Amazon Prime. But on the other hand, like I say, but even though dialogue is a little cheesy for George Lucas and some, but I do have to admit that episode 3 was, of course, Revenge of the Sith was, of course, my favorite Star Wars prequel film. Which, of course, my favorite, I mean, not just because of the space battles, and not just because of the lightsaber fights, but although I just would like to know how the Jedi were also destroyed, and how our Luke and Leia are born, and who their mother really was. And, of course, how Emperor Palpatine just became, and how Palpatine become the Emperor. Those are my interests, and Revenge of the Sith has done it. Yeah, but David Benioff, on the other hand, now hear me out. I'm not criticizing his writing. I'm just like I say, I'm not criticizing on him. Hear me out. But although he did make The Clone Wars, which is not a follow-up to the Genndy Tartakovsky's miniseries, who's the creator of Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, and Symphonic Titan for Cartoon Network. But this is where Anakin has become the master, but yet he's also became a really, really badass. And Padme, on the other hand, was also strongly developed well in the Clone Wars. And yes, and I watched The Loud House, and before, with Nico Letterman and Catherine Tabor, Lori and Luna Loud. They did Star Wars with Padme Amidala, who was previously played by Grey Delisle, or Grey Griffin. Padme voiced by Grey Griffin, who's also Lana, Lola, and Lily Loud. And then you got Nika, who voiced, of course, my favorite Loud House sibling, Luna, who is by far my favorite Loud House sibling ever. And although, like I say, it's just, of course, She's a staunch Ventress. But David Benioff, and D.B. Weiss, so, well, I forget. Oh, Dave Filoni. I'm sorry, everyone. Like I say, this is unscripted. I tend on jumping to conclusions. Dave Filoni had made massive improvements. But even though, the Clone Wars, even though I'm a fan of animation, it's no secret. But, I'm just saying, guys, of course, don't judge a book by its cover. But I know, and that's where I'm going to get to the sequel trilogy. I'm sure you guys don't like The Force Awakens, but I like The Force Awakens, and I love the story and the lightsaber fight, and of course the battle between the Resistance and the First Order, and of course, yes, they did take in some elements from Episode 4. Yes, I get it, man. The Planet Destroyer and and of course, the planet gets destroyed in a tavern. And of course, the mentor, and of course, getting killed. But although, but although in similarities between Ben Solo, aka Kylo Ren, and Jason Solo from the Legends, but yes, like I say, guys, I respect your opinion if you don't like The Force Awakens, that's perfectly fine with me. And I don't have a problem with it. But the next one I'll be talking about is, of course, Episode 8, which is now the most hated Star Wars. If they'll make Attack of the Clones their second least favorite, or in that case, if not a fan of the sequel trilogy, of course, The Force Awakens. Now before I get to that, that's the reason why I called it The Wednesday Awakens, because I watched The Force Awakens and I love The Force Awakens, I like The Force Awakens, It's just because, but like, even though guys, and even though I don't hugely defend the sequels, there's one thing I will never ever defend is, of course, pushing an agenda. That's what I'm trying to say. I am, even though I'm never a fan of pushing a political agenda, like, regarding the race and the sexuality, but like I say, I'm not much of a focus on the agenda. I'm just focusing on the story and the action, and of course, that's what I'm trying to say. But other than that, I will, of course, be talking about, but although the writing of Rian Johnson was really, really lousy, and he added some comedic moments, I liked the Last Jedi, but first, but now I realize that it was just okay. The action sequences, but although, and the moment with Luke and Leia, even though in Force projection, but however, I did not like the way how he got rid of Luke. On the other hand, one I regretted crying about, but if I was part of the sequel trilogy, I would definitely direct it, and, well, not direct it, I would produce it, and I would let Mark Hamill write, and I would actually let him direct the movie of Star Wars. The Star Wars, sequel trilogy. I would definitely have Mark Hamill writing, and yes, I admit I'm not a fan of not bringing those guys together, not bringing Leia, Luke, and Han together. Even though they are focusing on more characters, the new ones. I just want to make it a same timing, Just want them to focus on new ones, and then the old ones together. The old ones together, and then the new ones. And then at the end, the new generation would definitely meet the legacy characters. Would definitely meet the legacy characters. Even though, and yes, I will also focus on the bad guys. Also, trying to harm the new generation, even though trying to search and destroy the legacy characters. But I would make Han Solo, still got it. And Luke, still's got it. And Leia, of course, wielding her blaster, still got it. And then, Episode 9, I know you guys want me to save the death of Luke. If I let Luke survive Episode 8, well, you guys would have a deal. I will find a way. I will find a way to make sure Luke would be remembered the best. Like, of course, and Wookiee and Chewie. Yes, I would, let him pass peacefully at Kashyyyk. Well, not at 7 or 8. He would feel old then. But then his legacy will be remembered. Because he was too old to fight. And he would pass his bowcaster to his son. Of course, to his son. Who's, and yes, and his wife would be still alive. If I was in charge of Lucasfilm. But yes, even though Mark Hamill will be the writer, but I will have to hire script doctors. That's what I'm saying. That even though I will, of course, hire script doctors. Because it's really important. This is really important for Bob Iger, Look, I know it's Star Wars and all, Mr. Iger, but you need to hire script doctors. Marvel has script doctors, and Lucasfilm do not have script doctors, even though they don't need, but they do need script doctors. That's what I'm trying to say, Mr. Iger. Just hire the script doctors already. So, we can, of course, go. Of course, we can, hear the dialogue. And David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, even though you're going to be welcome aboard, just ask for script doctors, okay? So, so your dialogues of the film could be better, even though it's just, yes, and I know, and even though I love your show Game of Thrones, but season 8 was poor, poor executions, and of course dialogue, and not a good dialogue, but that's what I'm saying. You need to, of course, need to get the get the script doctors, alright? You know, the both of you. Alright guys, that's going to do about it for this bonus content of the Wednesday Awakens. And yeah, like I say guys, I don't attend a Rage On or anything like that. That would be for SJW Watch. But, other than that, I will of course. But of course, this is the bonus content and it's Game of Thrones related and Star Wars related. So, I'm just saying, of course, why am I talking so calm? It's because it's David Benioff, DB Weiss. Because it's Game of Thrones. Because it's Star Wars. And now I'm not going to be like that. Unlike the last time. Okay? Alright guys. Thank you for watching this bonus content. And as always, may the Force be with you.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.